or should you do to get better at copywriting? Right? Nobody ever arrives. Right? Nobody arrives at writing copy. Right? Even the masters. Right? Even the masters are working on writing copy every day. And I want to come back to what I said here at the very beginning. You are responsible not only for marketing, but you're responsible for sales also. Right? It's not somebody else's job. You might say, well, no, that's why I outsource to copywriters. Well, you know what a copywriter does? A copywriter comes to you and they ask you to fill out a questionnaire. Copywriter expects you to give them just about all the information I've just told you in this video. They're going to ask for that information anyway. So you and I need to go ahead and figure out how to write at least some of our own copy. So again, you have to you've got to take it into your brain that you are the only one responsible for sales. Everybody sort of gets that they're responsible for marketing. They get that they got to get traffic. They get they've got to design something cool. What they don't get is, okay, well, now what? Somebody's got to sell this thing. No, that's going to be that's going to be my responsibility and yours. You want to get better at copywriting? Keep a swipe file, right? Keep it organized. Use a program like Evernote to make sure that you know where your stuff is stored, right? Get the kind of swipe file. Somebody writes you an email, and it is very convincing. You put that in your swipe file. You get a direct sales letter. Scan it. Put it into your swipe file. You get to a good sales page. It is well done. It's convincing. It made you buy. Take a screenshot of it. Put it in your swipe file. Again, you should be keeping a swipe file of the very best of sales presentations and sales letters and sales videos as you can. And once again, I want you to go and look for it. I'll try to find it for you. Authority ROI by Ryan Deiss. If you can find that sales video, you'll see and you'll hear Ryan Deiss say, you know what, blogging is dumb. That's the opening line, the headline. A great example of a headline. Controversial, but it does grab you by the throat. Anything that comes in your mailbox, anything you get that's a sales letter, do not throw it away. Keep it. Right? Keep all direct mail sales letters. If you don't want to keep paper around, then scan it, put it in your Evernote. Right? But don't get rid of any direct mail sales letters. Read them cover to cover. You're not going to get a lot of them these days, but whenever you get one, right, go ahead and open it up. And most of the time it's going to look like junk mail. Open up the junk mail, and if you have a sales letter in there, promise you, read it. Read it from beginning to end. Anybody who's spending a lot of money on direct mail is because they're making a lot of money, typically. Right? That's typically the rule. The only reason they do it by direct mail, as expensive as that is, as time-consuming as that is because they're making money. And they're typically hiring a copywriter in order to do it. So you get some direct mail. Do not throw that direct mail away. You get that direct mail sales letter. You open it up and you read it, right? You read it as a marketer. And again, don't go getting sold, right? Let's see. Dana says, I still have a file drawer full of junk mail samples from 30 years ago. Yeah. And more than likely, you know what? I bet those sales letters are probably some of the best. Dana, that's probably a good information product right there. Those are probably some of the best sales letters that have probably been written, right? That could be a fantastic sales letter, information product. Okay, so once monthly, copy one entire sales letter by hand and work on it daily, right? Dana asked, can I use that in a product? There's probably a way you can use them, right? So I would think about there's probably a creative way you can probably use them. Maybe not directly, or maybe directly. I mean, you can probably call and get permission or whatever the case is. I'm pretty sure that would make a fantastic information product. Or even if you just drew from the principles, right? But the point is, those sales letters are gold to people who want to learn how to write copy. Okay, so come back to the presentation. Once monthly, copy the entire sales letter by hand, right? One entire sales letter by hand. Just take it, right? Write it out by hand. Now, you might say, no, man, that's just tedious. I don't have time to do that. I'm talking about a little bit every day. You only have to do one a month. And typically, sometime these sales letters are going to be like 15 pages. So you probably couldn't do it in one sitting anyway. But if you just handwrite in, here's what's going to happen. But there's something about the handwriting process that you will begin to get it, right? So if you're trying to learn how to write copy or you're trying to just get better at it, and we all should be getting better at it, copy that direct sales letter, work on it a little bit every day, and your copy will improve. And this, it probably sounds like a cure-all for everything. Launch a product, write your own copy, right? Launch a product, write your own copy. Launch a product, write your own copy, right? Many times you can do that. That's how you're going to get better at writing copy, launch products, and write your own copy. The one thing I suggest you do that's going to make for a better sales letter, it's just kind of a suggestion. Before you start creating products, write the sales letter, right? So write a sales letter, because what happens is you're going to have to figure out what people want. You have to figure out what would really sell to them. And then the secret is then you go and you create the product, right? Because you're going to have to do a little research. You're going to have to figure out what people want. And then once you figure that out, then you're then going to be able then to write the sales letter. Okay, now, what you want to do is you want to get good at collecting testimonials and reviews. Get good. Get really, really, really good. Right? Get good at collecting testimonials and good. I don't know if there is a method. There is a method that works right for you. Whatever it is, you have to get good at it. Right? And so again, and some people take years at figuring out exactly how to do it in a way that works for them. Whatever it is something that you and I must do, and then good. I mean, it is a part of doing business. You and I must get good at this. Then listen to customers and clients every day. Listen, right? No talking, no writing, no, this is not where you're trying to position yourself to be an expert. Just listening. What are they saying? Right? What are they talking about? What are their concerns? Just listening, right? Not answering, just lurking. Now, I know that sounds a little creepy, but basically what you're doing is you're trying to figure out, okay, what are people really, what kind of language are people using? What are they saying? What do they really want? You don't have to always be the guy or the woman that knows everything, right? Sometimes you just really have to be the best listener. And I said here, write down what you learn. So how do you write it down? Well, do you have a daily newsletter? Whatever you're learning every day, you should be writing in your newsletter. Now, what that does is that'll fix it into your mind what they're really saying. If you have a blog, write in their blog. Try to get into that blog post basically what you're learning. Now, again, you don't have to use names or anything like that, but you should be talking about the things people are talking about. What are they saying? What are you hearing? What are they going on about? Write those things into your newsletter. Write those things into your daily email. Write those things into your daily blog post, right? Talk about them. Because again, what that does is, and again, I know that's a little selfish. You should be writing blog posts to some degree for the people who are reading it, but this is really for you. Right? What this is going to do is it's going to get it into your person. You're then going to start understanding. You're going to start thinking like your client. You're going to start thinking like your customer, because you're listening. You're writing about what they're talking about, and you're thinking, and you're trying to understand them. And what happens is you eventually start just kind of coming to the point where you sit down, you write a sales letter, and you're looking at that sales letter through their eyes. Right? You're trying to think like them. You're trying to act like them. You're trying to talk like them so that you can write a sales letter. So again, I really, really, really want to encourage you to do these practices, right? Not just because everything that I've said is really going to help you. Everything I've said will really help you in terms of how you go about your work. But undertaking these practices will really help you to get copywriting into everything that you're doing and get it into your daily practice. Okay? Any questions? Any questions on anything that I covered tonight? Any questions? I want to come back to Dana's question. And I'm trying to think through, how would you do that? So you've got this collection of sales letters, right? So obviously one thing you could do is, now not everybody's going to give you permission, but some people would, right? Is you get some people's permission, and maybe even if you only got 2 people's permission, you can draw out the principles. So in other words, maybe you take Dan Kennedy's book or you take one of the sales letter gurus and you say, well, this is the principle that's being illustrated in this sales letter. Or, you try to find the common elements. Or, quite frankly, as many of them as you can get permission for, right? If you tell them that you're an information marketer and you just like to share their sales letter, right, with other marketers, then look, then some people are going to be willing. I would just ask them, right? In some cases, the company might not even be in existence, right? But if you can get their permission, right? Yeah, it would be interesting to find out if any of those products. Again, I'd be interested to find out, did those products sell, right? Did that sales letter help them, right? I can see a lot of interesting ways to go with that. Maybe even asking to interview, right, the person about that sales letter, about how it did, and about that campaign, and kind of getting them on the hook, and then going through each and every of those sales letters. Again, if you've got them going back 30 years, then there's something there, right? There is something in there, right? There's definitely something in there. And so I would not put that, I would not table that too long. There might be some other examples, but I would definitely be looking to try to put those into something that'll help people with copywriting. Right? And you're a writer, right? And you're an editor. So really putting something together should not be any problem. Let's say, so you started collecting them when you started your membership group. Yeah. And I'm really mostly interested in the stuff that you'd have going back 10, 20 years. Right. So that stuff, versus, maybe how they really did and got results. I would definitely be looking to try to put them in place some kind of way. Right. So again, it's going to require some creativity. Right, it might require getting in contact with some of those people, but in my opinion, that is an information product in there someplace.